Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier for Weekend Wrap. Taking a look back at last Saturday's Grade 1 Los Alamitos Cashcall Futurity. Baffert going for 9, I believe, in this race, and he had Mastery at 1-5. And really the only surprise from the tote board was we thought he could be 1-9.
Yeah, coming into this race, it was really a matter of, is he going to be able to handle 2 turns, which I don't think many people questioned. If you had any reservation, maybe you were in the camp that I was, that I didn't love the blinkers going back on, but everyone acknowledged he was way the horse to beat, and I think he put on a bit of a show.
First time 2 turns at Los Alamitos. They break from the gate. Mastery is the number 3, ridden by Mike Smith, and we know he's got good early speed, and we also knew, after looking at the PPs, that the number 2, Bobby Abu Dhabi, would also be forwardly placed.
And I think if you talk to Baffert and Mike Smith, this is exactly how they drew it up. They wanted to be right here. I think if push comes to shove, they would have rather it stayed like this a little bit longer than it did, because you're going to see the minute they hit the backside, all of a sudden Mastery says, I kind of want to get into this thing a little more.
And that's really the only question Mastery hasn't answered.
Right.
What happens if he has to come from a length and a half or 2 off of it? In a perfect world, I think Mike would have loved to have sit, off the tail of the 2, Bobby Abu Dhabi. But they're cooking right now. This second quarter mile, 22-1. They're going to pass the half in 45-3. Mastery seems comfortable.
Yeah, he seems very comfortable, and I think that's the thing that's most encouraging to me, that, they could really crank it up like that in the interior fractions, and he's still cruising out there. Now, Bobby Abu Dhabi, understandable, going 2 turns for the first time. He fades badly, but at the same time, I don't know that I'm going to say that, he's just some complete bum and that's the only reason that Mastery drew off. I thought this was a really big performance.
Meanwhile, the number 5, IRAP, a maiden trying dirt for the first time, is moving very sweetly. He's gotten a trip. Bobby Abu Dhabi and Mastery pressing each other. IRAP sitting behind. He's coming with a 3-wide bid, and for a brief instant, Baffert had to be concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see IRAP, he's hanging on his left lead. It's going to take him quite a long time to change over. I'm sure right now Baffert is saying, what are we doing here? This can't be possible. I love that the minute Mike hits this horse left-handed, he rebreaks. He's gone. And I understand IRAP is still on his left lead right now. But at the end of the day, even if this horse changed on cue, he wasn't going to be able to step with this horse Mastery.
And Baffert said after the race, it did seem like once Mastery put Bobby Abu Dhabi away, the Mastery started to forget about what the job was about, that he thought maybe it was over with, and he needed that little reminder from Smith, that one crack left-handed, and then you saw the result. Mastery drawing out to win by 7 1/4 lengths. The undefeated son of Candy Wright, a $425,000 Keeneland yearling purchase. Second black-type earner out of this dam by Old Trieste. Clear Sailing was a stakes winner at 1 1/16 at the fairgrounds. Okay, as for Mastery, what really did we learn about this race other than he's comfortable around 2 turns? Because from a competition standpoint, he's had 3 races, he's won them all fairly easily, and you can make the argument at the end of the day, the best horse he's beaten is California Diamond, a nice Calbred.
Yeah, and that part I can't argue with anyone. At the end of the day, that's a factual statement. He hasn't really beaten any sort of quality competition. At the end of the day, for me, not only did he check off the 2 turns, which until they do it is an unknown.
I agree.
But we brought it up Saturday. I felt like it's a positive that he's won 3 different times at 3 different racetracks. And I also love the fact that I understand, okay, well, maybe he was going up against inferior competition. He went 22-1 for that middle quarter, and he still drew off at the end. He got his final 5/16 and 32 flat, and he was basically handridden for that final, few hundred yards. For me, this was just a major league performance. It doesn't bother me that the Beyer came back in 91. I thought maybe he'd come back a little bit faster, but I think that was fine.
Sure, for only start number 3.
And that's the other thing, too. He's still only started 3 times. I mean, the fact that he pulled himself up, and I'm sure in an ideal world, Baffert would say, no, we didn't want that. We wanted him to keep going on with it. But he's still a bit of a baby. He's figuring things out. I think for me, he's far and away the best horse in Southern California right now, and I think you could make the case he is right there as one of the top 2 or 3 soon-to-be 3-year-olds.
I agree with that. He right now is the best 2-year-old in Southern California. Classic Empire is going to be number 1,
yes,
the eventual champion 2-year-old. You have Motown in New York, but I think we talked about on DRF Live, you could make a case the Mastery is now a clear-cut number 2, with Motown maybe nipping at his heels for the 2nd spot. So yes, Mastery not only pressed a solid enough first quarter, 23-1, that middle half was pretty good. The 22-second second quarter that you referenced, and then they went 23 and change that
like
3rd quarter, and it was contested.
Yes.
He was dealing with Bobby Abu Dhabi. What did he beat? We don't know, but he did it really well.
I think the other thing, too, that is at least encouraging to me, and again, I think in a perfect world, you would have liked to have seen this horse just sit off of that horse, Bobby Abu Dhabi, basically for the duration until they went into the far turn. There's a part of me that looks at it and says, how many horses going 2 turns are going to be able to run with 45 and change. So there's a part of me that all of a sudden thinks, okay, yeah, in a perfect world, you'd like him to sit. But it's not like he's some runoff going 45 in a piece. Maybe all of a sudden he becomes that horse that you just say, we talked about it with American Pharoah. At the end of the day, if you think you're on the best horse, just go. Right. Maybe that's what this horse turns into, because you know Classic Empire, look, he has that beautiful tactical speed, but at the same time, let's be honest, Classic Empire's never had to run down a horse that maybe is as talented as Mastery.
Well, certainly not as talented as Mastery. We ran him down recruiting ready in start number 2, and that horse is brilliantly fast, but it'll be interesting to see where Mastery ends up down the road. I'm sure Baffert has a plan of 2 preps before the Derby.
Imagine,
you would think if things go well, maybe San Felipe, Santa Anita Derby, etc. As for IRAP, he's still a maiden, but he's grade 1 placed, and that helps with a pedigree like he has. He's a Tiz now. He is a half-brother to the very good dirt horse Speightstown. Why the heck was he stepping on turf in his first couple of starts?
Well, and I think that's the thing a lot of people have immediately brought up. Well, he had a hard time putting away IRAP for a minute. Well, let's keep in mind, IRAP probably was on the wrong surface all along, and he's looked like he's bred to be dirt horse. There's a part of me that wonders if he was on the turf because maybe there's some physical issues. But I don't want to hold that against Mastery, that this is the horse. He can't pick who he runs against.
That's true.
I think he's done everything he's supposed to do, and he's done it very professionally, all things considered. He's still a little bit green, but I think he's getting there.
Dangerfield clunked up for 3rd under Drayden Van Dyke. I think he earned the same Beyer speed figure now, 3 starts in a row, 71, I'm not positive. And he's going to be a nice little long-distance horse. I don't think he's a Derby winner. I don't think he's a grade 1 type horse, but he can make money for his connections. Show Me Duluth was a little bit disappointing as the 9-2 other Baffert in this race. I just think that second quarter overwhelmed this horse, who really is kind of a horse that's going to reel off 24s and just grind it out and grind it out. And when they threw that second quarter at him, he was overwhelmed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he was very disappointing, but at the same time, in fairness to him, like you say, he had never, in his second lifetime start, he's still figuring things out, and he had never seen anything like that as far as speed is concerned. You wonder, again, you just look at the way that he runs, he's just kind of a grinder. He's just going to chug along.
He needs his races to be run like turf races, I think, kind of slowly, where he's able to get into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden when the real racing begins, that motor starts to chug, and it turns into a stamina contest. This was a speed race.
Yeah, you know, I hate to always sort of default to the Belmont sort of running style for horses that are like this, but I mean, how many times have we seen just horses that can run all day? They can't run faster than 24s, but they can just string together 24s and 25s. That's the kind of race a horse like this probably needs. And guess what? The worst thing that may have happened to him is being in Southern California.
Another Cashcall Futurity win for Bob Baffert. An undefeated prospect in Mastery. He's now 3 for 3, 91 Beyer speed figure for his score at Los Alamitos. And a lot of folks are looking forward to his 3-year-old campaign.